I think everyone has been through this at some point in life. That friendship that seemed unshakable but crumbled when social status came into play. In my case, it was with Victoria. We grew up together, next-door neighbors in a modest neighborhood, sharing everything, toys, secrets, dreams of a bright future. She was like a sister to me, and I truly believed nothing could ever come between us. Things started to change when we got into college. I had to juggle school and a part-time job because I needed to support myself. Victoria, on the other hand, dove headfirst into a completely different world. She made friends with a group of wealthy students, the kind who drove luxury cars and spent their vacations in Europe. At first, I thought it was just a new social circle, that our friendship would still have its place in her life. But little by little, the signs started showing. First, she took longer to reply to my messages. Then she started canceling our plans with vague excuses. And eventually, I realized she just wasn't making an effort to keep me in her life anymore. The final straw came in the cruelest way. One day, after class, I saw Victoria with her new group. I walked up to say hi, but before I could say a word, I heard one of the guys laughing and making a snide remark about people with no style who buy discount clothes. What hurt me wasn't the comment itself. I've heard worse. It was the fact that Victoria laughed along without even trying to stand up for me. She saw me there, made brief eye contact, and chose to do nothing. I didn't confront her. I didn't cause a scene. I just turned around and walked away. And in that moment, I knew our friendship was over. I tried to understand, to rationalize. Maybe she just wanted to fit in. Maybe she was dazzled by that new world. But at the end of the day, nothing justified the choice she made. She had the chance to stay by my side, to hold on to at least a piece of the friendship we had. But she chose people who only cared about what she could bring to the table. So I moved on. I worked hard, graduated, and built my own path. I've never been the type to hold grudges, but I've also never been the type to forget, and ironically, years later, fate would bring us face to face again, but under very different circumstances. Time passed, and life went on. After that betrayal, I buried any feelings I had left for Victoria and focused on what really mattered, my own path. I worked hard, and with a lot of effort, I founded my own tech company. I started small, developing software for small businesses, but over time, my business grew. Today, I'm the CEO of a successful company and have reached a level of stability I never thought I'd have. And Victoria? Well, the last time I heard about her, she was still living in that luxurious world she loved so much. I saw some of her Instagram posts over the years. International trips, exclusive parties, designer clothes. It was like her life had taken a completely different direction from mine, and honestly, I figured I'd never hear from her again, until a few weeks ago when I got an unexpected message. It was late at night, and I was at the office finishing up some work when my phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen, and for a second I thought I was seeing things. Her name was right there, Victoria. After years of no contact, the message was short. "Hey, Ellie, I know it's been a long time, but I really need to talk to you. Please, just give me a chance." A part of me felt like whatever she had to say shouldn't matter anymore. I did a quick search, and within minutes I found out that Victoria wasn't the rich, glamorous girl she used to be. Her millionaire boyfriend had been arrested for fraud, and with that, she lost everything. The friends she valued so much? Gone. She was completely alone, and now, out of all the people in the world, she came looking for me. I knew she wanted something. Nobody just shows up out of nowhere asking for a chance without a reason. But what caught me off guard was the way I felt when I saw that message. I expected to feel revenge, satisfaction in seeing her crumble like a sandcastle collapsing. But all I felt was nothing. I had moved on. She apparently hadn't. And yet, against all my expectations, I decided to respond. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. The coffee shop around the corner from my office. I wanted to see with my own eyes what Victoria had become, and I wanted to understand why, after all this time, she thought I still owed her anything. The next day, I arrived at the cafe a few minutes early. I picked a table by the window, ordered a coffee, and waited. I won't lie, I was nervous. And when she walked through the door, I almost didn't recognize her. The woman standing in front of me looked nothing like the radiant, flawless girl I remembered. Her hair was dull. Her once high-end outfit now looked worn out. Her eyes carried a mix of shame and desperation. She hesitated before sitting down, like she was expecting me to send her away. But I just motioned for her to take a seat. She seemed nervous, fidgeting with her hands, avoiding eye contact. Victoria told me everything. How her boyfriend had scammed her, how she lost every penny, how her friends disappeared the moment she stopped being useful. She said she had tried to start over, but no one would hire her. She said she realized too late how shallow and superficial she had been. And then came the request I had already seen coming. She needed a job, a chance. I stayed quiet for a few seconds watching her. The Victoria I knew would have pitied me when we were younger. Now, ironically, she was the one on the other side. I had power in that moment, power to say no and let her learn the hard way, power to say yes and help someone who had once been part of my life. But did she really deserve that chance? I still didn't know. What I did know was that, right now, Victoria was experiencing the same kind of disregard she had once made me feel. The difference? I wasn't laughing at her. I wasn't humiliating her. I was simply facing reality for what it was. After a long silence, I gave her the only answer I could at that moment. I'll think about it. I got up and walked away, leaving Victoria there, alone. She would have to wait for my decision, just like she once made me wait for hers. I spent the next few days thinking about that conversation with Victoria. Part of me wanted to just ignore it and move on with my life. But another part, maybe the more human one, wondered if Victoria really deserved to be left behind. I was never the vengeful type. I'm not naive, but I'm also not driven by resentment. And if there's one thing life has taught me, it's that people change. Some for the worse. Others, maybe not. Still, trusting was another story. My company had an open position in a basic department, something anyone with commitment could do. It was an honest job, no perks, no glamour. If Victoria was really willing to start over, she'd take it. So I sent her a short message. If you really want a chance, come to my office tomorrow at 9 a.m. The next day, at 8:55 a.m., Victoria was in the lobby. She looked nervous, but also determined. When she walked into my office, I noticed something had changed about her. It wasn't just the worn-out appearance, it was the way she looked at me. No arrogance, no superiority, just a woman who knew she had hit rock bottom and was trying to climb back up. I didn't give any emotional speeches. I didn't promise it would be easy. I simply explained the job, the salary, and the responsibilities. If she wanted it, it was hers. But she would have to start just like any other employee, and to my surprise, she accepted without hesitation. Over the next few days, I watched Victoria like I would any other employee. At first, I noticed some people whispering about her, the usual office gossip. Her name was still tied to the scandal with her ex, but she didn't complain, didn't try to justify herself. She just worked. And that's when I started to believe that maybe, just maybe, she really was changing. In the beginning, I expected Victoria to give up, that she'd come up with some excuse and disappear, just like she did years ago when our friendship was no longer convenient for her. But to my surprise, she stayed. The job wasn't glamorous. No fancy restaurant meetings or trips paid for by millionaires, just a simple routine dealing with administrative tasks, reports, and tight deadlines. And Victoria did everything without complaining. The company employees still looked at her with suspicion. They knew who she was. Some remembered the headlines about her ex-boyfriend's scandal. Others, maybe, just took pleasure in seeing someone who once had it all now working as hard as anyone else. But she didn't listen to them. She accepted what was given to her without asking for privileges, without looking for shortcuts. That's when I began to believe that maybe she was really trying to change. The turning point came a few weeks later. An unexpected issue arose with a major client, something that, if not resolved in time, could cost us an important contract. I was already preparing to stay at the office all night when I realized I wasn't alone. Victoria stayed too. She could have left at the end of the workday. She could have said it wasn't her problem. But no. Without anyone asking, she grabbed a few documents and started organizing everything to make the work go faster. And there, for the first time in years, I saw a different spark in her eyes. Not the sparkle of the girl who traded friendship for status, but of someone who, maybe, was learning the true value of things. When we finished, it was already past 3 a.m. The silence in the office was absolute. She looked at me, tired, but with a small smile on her lips. "Thanks for giving me this chance." I didn't answer right away. I just watched her for a moment. People always ask me if I ever fully forgave Victoria. I always answer with a half smile, not in a hurry to give a definite response. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past. The things that happened are still there, like scars that, though they no longer hurt, never completely disappear. But forgiveness can build something new. Maybe not the same as what was there before, but something different, perhaps even stronger. Victoria and I never became what we were again. But somehow, we found a new way. A different friendship, built not on the innocence of childhood, but on the maturity of those who have fallen and learned how to rise again. If you like this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me keep bringing more exciting stories like this one, and let me know in the comments. Would you give someone who's hurt you a second chance?